not be the only team to cautiously feel out their legs and see what they could do. Batten's technical prowess was such that Lil and Strauss were well off her and Gomez Villafan's wheels by the foot of the Helderberg Trail's descent. This gave them the embryo of an advantage, which they incubated over the coming kilometres, gradually growing it to a sizable margin. The 91 Songo Specialized team flew through the spectacular Waterford winery, not pausing to take in the magnificent architecture or the cheers of the gathered crowd. It seemed they were on course for a dominant victory. A quick pause at the day's second water point refueled the leaders for the next challenge, the day's most significant climb, the saddle. Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss were composed in pursuit, knowing that the climb to come would present ample opportunity to reel in the leaders should Faces Roller prove powerful enough. A minute back, Simtech ZA had caught BMC MTB Racing and were working their way back into contention. On the climb to the saddle, the leaders were forced off their bikes. The gradient was such that everyone walked, yet some did so for shorter than others and made up rather than lost time. Sophia Gomez Villafan and Hayley Batten were among the latter. Having paced themselves to perfection, the Simtech ZA team of Ariane Luthi and Amy Wakefield had ridden more of the climb and ascended into a potential stage-winning position. They passed 91 Zongo Specialized on the trails and soon left Gomez Villafan and Batten in their wake. Looking entirely comfortable on the most brutal gradients, as one may expect from a Swiss mounted goat and two-time single-speed world champion, Luthi and Wakefield simply powered away from their rivals. Ariane Luthi and Amy Wakefield appeared to have the contest under control as they paced their efforts through the remote northern reaches of Lawrenceford Estate. Sadly, their smooth run to the finish was interrupted by a rear wheel puncture for Luthi. Having a pinch flat, the hole in the Swiss rider's sidewall was near her wheel's rim. As such, it was difficult to plug effectively. Though she and Wakefield managed to reinflate the wheel, it continued to lose air over the next 5 kilometres, forcing the Simtech team to stop repeatedly to reinflate it. By the time they reached the tech zone at the 74 kilometre mark, they had no choice but to stop for a replacement wheel. But the wheel change cost them further time and the lead on the trail. One moment of misfortune, it cost them 3 minutes and a stage win. Simtech's loss was 91 Songo Specialized gain. Having recovered somewhat from the exertions of the saddle climb, Sophia Gomez Villafan and Hayley Batten found themselves back in the lead. The pair rode the final 18 kilometres at a consistently high but safe pace, racing intelligently after a long day on the bike. Winning the stage, but also conserving energy for the days to come, was an unexpected bonus after a dramatic day on the trails. Leading the best part of 4 minutes to the day's victors. Sophia Gomez Villafan and Hayley Batten's winning time was 4 hours 50 minutes and 2 seconds. Ariane Luthi and Amy Wakefield were 1 minute and 49 seconds back, with Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss a further 2 minutes down. On the CM.com Women's General Classification standings, after 2 days of racing, 91 Songo Specialized now lead the battle for orange by 1 minute and 45 seconds over Simtech ZA. Faces Roller are third at 2 minutes and 53 seconds, but hold a 20-minute advantage in the Absa Afrometer, kilometre by kilometre, day by day. Regardless of the unit of measurement, every inch of the CM.com women's race was hard fought on stage 2. Even the kg early kilometres served their purpose. The teams tested their legs to sense the freshness after a cruel stage 1. And looked to their rivals to see who would likely be in contention for victory. Slow teams off the back of the elite group until only the top 5 squads remained in contention. This was as much a natural factor of the golfing class as it was a conscious effort to thin the field for the vital hiker bike. Over the summit, Hayley Batten upped the tempo. Only her teammates Sophia Gomez Villafan, Candice Lill, Mariska Strauss and Pauline Ferran-Prevo could follow. In an effort to allow her partner Robert Groot to regain contact, Ferran-Prevo forced her way to the front of the group and slowed the speed. Rather than react to the tactics of others, the 91 Songo Specialized women responded by launching an attack. Behind Simtech ZA's Ariane Luthi and Amy Wakefield, as well as Private Client Holdings' Marie Rabi and Hayley Perrine, were pacing themselves back to the BMC MTB racing team. Gomez Villafan and Batten's move was short-lived, however. Within a few kilometres, Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss are back with the women in orange. Having spent so many years racing Oak Valley single tracks, the South Africans' local trails knowledge had paid dividends. They would need more than just experience in home conditions to beat the 91 Songo Specialized team though, especially as the stage wore into its 5th and 6th hour of racing. Despite her inexperience at such long-distance off-road races, Pauline Ferrand-Prévost's firepower was unblunted. The French star fought her way back to the lead group, bringing Robin de Groot, Amy Wakefield and Ariane Luthi with her. With the top four women's teams back together, the increasingly blustery and windy conditions on Van der Stel's Pass made attacking impossible. Instead, they were content to cover the kilometres in close formation, knowing that the decisive moment would come on Jacques' climb after the relief of the smooth gravel road. Biding their time, they recovered as best they could. Jacques' climb proved to be the key point in the stage in the CM.com women's race, as had been predicted by Amy Wakefield. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot ascended fastest, splitting the field, while Robin de Groot rode her own tempo, shadowing Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten. Mariska Strauss and Candice Lill had to watch them ride off. Over the summit, having caught Ferrand-Prévot, the 91 Songo Specialized team suffered a mechanical. Batten's dropper seat post had got stuck in the low position. As a result, the American was unable to climb seated and had to stop to force it up. This had allowed Ariane Luthi and Amy Wakefield to pass them on the trail. And while Batten and Gomez-Villafan soon reeled the Simtech ZA team in again, they were unable to catch BMC MTV Racing. Ferrand-Prévot and de Groot charged through the remaining kilometres in a 2-up time trial. No amount of frantic stage 1, the storming ride by Ferrand-Prévot and de Groot on stage 2 was a welcome surprise. Their gaining of time on the women in the orange CM.com jerseys kept the race for the overall title alive. Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten had a healthy buffer, thus finishing second was by no means a disaster. Nor was third for the Simtech ZA team. After 3 days of racing, the CM.com women's race is fascinatingly poised. Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot's stage victory was completed in a time of 6 hours, 20 minutes and 52 seconds for the 123-kilometre course. Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten were second, 2 minutes and 47 seconds back. Ariane. The day's CM.com women's action concluded with 91 Songo Specialized still in the orange Chiavita leaders jerseys. They now lead BMC MTB Racing by 6 minutes and 26 seconds. Simtech ZA are third, just 21 seconds off second. Faces rollers Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss are fourth, but strengthened their grip on the red Absa African jerseys. Where the men had flown off the start line, the CM.com women's race featured a less frenetic start. The group remained in close formation as they wound their way across the tributary of the Elandskloof River and out of the race village to the open roads beyond. In the CM.com women's race, the private client holdings team of Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen had worked themselves into a strong position. They led the lead group into a single-track climb inside the final 10 kilometres and could control the pace. Knowing she could close the gap at will, Mariska Strauss yo-yoed off the back of the group, freshening up her legs for a potential sprint finish. The route turned from single to dual track. They were powerless to follow as 91 Songo Specialized and Faces Roller blitzed by. The private client holdings combination had to watch as Sophia Gomez-Villafan, Hayley Batten, Mariska Strauss and Candice Lill rode away to contest for stage victory. Still, then with a last-ditch effort, Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss forced their way to the front on a dual-track climb, which gave them the priority run into the final single track of the stage. Cannily, Lill and Strauss controlled the pace, slowing the group in order to recover for the sprint. With the rivals on the front, Hayley Batten's well-honed technical skills were showcased for the camera rather than in pursuit of victory. The lead on the trail was worth more with the shortened run-in to Elandskloof. Faces Roller enjoyed a clear run-in through the final turns, kicked to go clear of 91 Songo Specialized, who knew they were beaten, and powered across the finish line. The victory was Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss's first as an Absa Cape Epic pairing, which made it all the more sweeter. The smiles on the day's podium told much of the story. It was a happy day for South African women's mountain biking. Mariska Strauss and Candice Lill's first Absa Cape Epic stage victory as a team was secured in 4 hours, 50 minutes and 35 seconds. The 2 seconds Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten conceded were immaterial to the overall standings, as with the time Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen. 91 Songo Specialized still lead the CM.com women's competition. Faces Roller moved up to second, 10 minutes and 7 seconds off the lead. BMC MTB Racing slide to third and Simtech ZA slip to fourth. Riders who adapt to the grueling conditions on and off the bike best will emerge victorious. Despite having struggled the previous day, De Groot and Pauline Ferrand-Prévot were looking as ready as any of their rivals. First excursion into the foothills of the mountains. When the trails began to ascend, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot immediately came to the fore. The French star appears to be on a rotation of alternating strong and less strong days. Stage 4, like the prologue and Stage 2, was a good day for BMC MTB Racing. Simtech ZA and Private Client Holdings remained with the BMC MTB team. Having fought their way to the front, the Faces roller team of Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss then took control of the pace setting in the single tracks. Just when the pace started to rise, Amy Wakefield's ability to contest the stage was compromised. The Simtech ZA rider punctured and never made it back to the lead group. Her partner Ariane Luthi was initially unaware of Wakefield's issues, but once she realized, the Swiss rider dropped back to the South African. This left Mariska Strauss, Candice Lill, Sophia Gomez-Villafan, Hayley Batten, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, Robin de Groot, Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen at the front of the race. Having stretched the lead group to breaking point, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot escaped off the front when the climbing began once more. Behind, Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss were marshalling the chase, until Lill punctured. The pinch flat created a difficult plug to hole in the sidewall of the South African's tyre, costing her agonizing minutes. While Faces roller struggled to repair their puncture, BMC MTB Racing ascended away, extending their advantage all the while over the remaining teams in the chasing group. In so doing, Ferrand-Prévot and de Groot proved again that when they're on fire, they are the strongest climbing team in the CM.com women's race. Even the infamous UFO climb was no match for the pair's prowess. The nature of the pursuit split the chasers. Private Client Holdings were unable to stick with 91 Songo Specialized on UFO. Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten rode the climb conservatively, then pinned their ears back for the descent to the finish. Faces roller were racing to save their general classification position, knowing they were ceding time to BMC MTB. 91 Songo Specialized pursuit was less frenetic. For the third time in 5 days at the 2022 Absa Cape Epic, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot raced to stage victory and into second position overall. Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten crossed the line in second, and Private Client Holdings completed the podium. It took Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot 4 hours, 3 minutes and 28 seconds to complete their victory, 1 minute and 12 seconds ahead of Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten. Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen were a further 4 minutes and 47 seconds back. Despite conceding time to the stage winners, 91 Songo Specialized overall advantage expanded from 10 minutes over Faces Roller to 11 minutes and 6 seconds over BMC MTB Racing. Break up the field, the top women's teams were motivated from the start to race at a high pace. As such, 91 Songo Specialized and Faces Roller charged off the fields of Elandskloof, eager to get climbing. By the time the top 4 teams turned the corner out of the orchards and onto the pass, they had a 30-second advantage. While 91 Songo Specialized drove up the pace, Robin de Groot fought to cling on to the back of the group. Further back, Live Factory Racing's Sarah Hill was already in survival mode, relying on Casey Armstrong for a tow. Their thoughts were simply on reaching the summit. Robin de Groot was the first in the lead group to crack, forcing Pauline Ferrand-Prévot to drop back to her. The BMC MTB team was soon joined off the back by Private Client Holdings. The Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen were not suffering nearly as much as de Groot. Feeling good and racing at the sharp end, the 94 Songo Specialized and Faces roller teams forged ahead, bombing towards the Teerwaterskloof Dam. Behind, Private Client Holdings and BMC MTB were in lonely solo rides from over 100 kilometers out. This ensured they had the firepower to cross the flatlands between the Rusty Gate and Franschhoek Pass climbs at a high tempo. Despite some waterpoint argy-bargy, the quartet remained together, perhaps because they knew they were better off sharing the workload than trying to forge on as individual teams with so many kilometers left to cover. Soon though, Franschhoek Pass loomed up on the horizon. The flatlands were coming to an end and the race would enter a more decisive phase, in which the stage winners would be determined. Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen would not be in contention for stage honours, however. They were simply too far back to bridge across to the lead group as 91 Songo Specialized and Faces Roller powered up the asphalt pass. Blowing as it was over their shoulders, it provided added impetus in the race towards Stellenbosch. In third on the trails, Private Client Holdings was still engaged in a lonely race. For the third stage in a row, Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen were effectively team time trialling through much of the stage. On Botma's Kop inside the last 10 kilometres, 91 Songo Specialised proved to be the stronger team. Yet Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten could not quite shake Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss. As such, the margin of victory was close but comfortable, while Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen's third position was more decisively achieved. Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten's second stage win took them 4 hours, 53 minutes and 8 seconds. Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss were 5 seconds back. Private Client Holdings 8 minutes and 52 seconds behind the stage winners. BMC MTB Racing's concession of 15 minutes and 52 seconds saw them drop from second to third. 91 Songo Specialised now hold a 15-minute and 49-second advantage over the Absa African jersey wearers Faces Roller. 91 Songo Specialised would require a mammoth effort from Candice Lill and her Faces Roller teammate Mariska Strauss. They did, however, have an advantage in that they know the Stellenbosch trails like the back of their hands. Unfortunately for them, Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten spent a week before the race pre-riding the Bunhoek and Jonkershoek trails, which was exactly what Candice Lill, Mariska Strauss and the 91 Songo Specialised team wanted. Unable to follow, Luti had to rely on Wakefield to steward her through the stage. At the sharp end, the top two teams already in the Bunhoek Valley proved as essential. The smooth surface played into the hands of Private Client Holdings. They were climbing more efficiently than BMC MTB Racing. Carrying momentum was as important once the trails began to undulate, and fortunately Luti was still able to do that. Having ascended out of the Bunhoek Valley, the CM.com women's race leaders and their counterparts in the Absa African jerseys were heading towards Jonkershoek. Hayley Batten had to give her partner Sophia Gomez-Villafan a helping hand to conquer the steepest pitches of the climb. On the contour roads which followed, the Argentine could recover in the wheels while Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss set the pace. On the single tracks in Jonkershoek, Lill led to control the pace. This ensured that the group remained together, as the South African was protecting Strauss and allowing her to recover. At the back of the group, Batten still found time and space to have some fun. Having come to cheer on their team, the Songo.info children were happy to provide encouragement to Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot too. The BMC MTB Racing team were in third on the trails. Further back, Marie Rabi and Hayley Preen were in fourth. Having forced their way ahead on the dual-track climb to the Fire Hut single-track descent, the 91 Songo Specialised team could use Batten's superior skills to establish the embryo of an advantage over the Faces Roller team. The gap never ballooned though. Lill and Strauss managed to keep the leaders in their sights, remaining agonisingly close throughout the brand new Yonkers Drift single-track climb back towards the Stellenbosch race village. They just lacked the burst of speed to reel in Gomez-Villafan and Batten. Behind de Groot was fighting away to the finish. She and Ferrand-Prévot were at no risk of losing their third place on the trails, but simply finishing as fast as possible was motivation enough. With a helping hand from Batten, Gomez-Villafan led the 91 Songo Specialised team over Heartbreak Hill and down towards the finish line. The women in orange rounded the final bend to win their third stage of the 2022 Absa Cape Epic. Lill and Strauss finished in second, repeating their Stage 5 result, further cementing their second position on the CM.com Women's General Classification. They were joined on the podium by the BMC MTB Racing team of Ferrand-Prévot and de Groot. It took Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten 4 hours, 1 minute and 4 seconds to complete the 76-kilometre stage, 39 seconds less than it took Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot were 11 minutes down on the stage winners. Heading into the final day, 91 Songo Specialised hold a 16-minute and 29-second advantage over Faces Roller. The Absa African jersey leaders are 22 minutes ahead of third place BMC MTB Racing. Private Client Holdings and Simtech ZA switch places, with the South Africans moving up into fourth. The CM.com women raced off the fields of Stellenbosch University to undertake their 68-kilometre traverse of the Cape Winelands. BMC MTB Racing and Faces Roller were aggressive from the off, searching for any signs of weakness in the pedal strokes of their rivals. Starting 16 and 38 minutes down on the general classification respectively, they were of little risk to the women in orange. Nonetheless, the 91 Songo Specialised team did not want their rivals to win a stage that they could claim. As a result, climbing through the foothills of the Simonsberg Mountains, the overall leaders shadowed their rivals. It was only once the BMC MTB Racing and Private Client Holdings teams were distanced that Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten began to help Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss with the pacemaking. The Faces roller team were clearly highly motivated to outdo the Argentine-American combination again, as they had done on stage 3. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot briefly fought their way back to the leading group, but were soon distanced again when the gradients ramped up and the Faces roller team upped the tempo. The single track that followed allowed Batten to showcase her technical skills once again. But with her teammate wedged between Lill and Strauss, there was no advantage to be gained from the rapid descent. At the bottom, Batten sat up and the group ground their way up the ascent together, all the while extending their advantage over the teams in third and fourth on the trails. One side of contention for stage honours, Ferrand-Prévot and de Groot rode a more relaxed pace through the final stage, just focusing on remaining ahead of the Private Client Holdings team of Hayley Preen and Marie Rabi. Ahead, Lill and Strauss were seizing every opportunity to attack, putting Batten and Gomez-Villafan on the back foot. The 91 Songo Specialized pair managed to fight back once, closing the gap to Faces roller on a dual-track descent. Soon though, Gomez-Villafan's struggles deepened. Only the helping hand of Batten kept her within touching distance of Lill and Strauss. Buoyed by their rivals' troubles, the South Africans attacked again, distancing 91 Songo Specialized for good. The Faces roller team surged across the Berg River and onto the fields of Val de Vie. Rounding the final bend, Lill and Strauss could sit up and appreciate the applause. A second stage win in the red Absa African jerseys capped a successful week for the Faces roller team. The 91 Songo Specialized team rolled onto the polo fields of Val de Vie a short while later to wrap up the 2022 Absa Cape Epic title. With 3 stage wins, there could be no doubt that Gomez-Villafan and Batten were the most consistent team in the CM.com women's race. 3 minutes and 22 seconds. 91 Songo Specialized conceded 3 minutes and 57 seconds on the grand finale, but that did not threaten their overall victory, and BMC MTB Racing completed the day's podium places. Sophia Gomez-Villafan and Hayley Batten's title was won with a 12-minute and 31-second buffer. Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss were second, winning the Absa African jerseys for the second year in a row. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and Robin de Groot may have finished third on the final general classification, but they did race to 3 stage victories during de Groot's final and Ferrand-Prévot